Senator Graham.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all, the Air Force and Space Force. Looking forward for you writing history. You will. You'll make history. To our airmen out there, men and women, you really shine brightly. So please pass that on. The best Air Force in the world and the best Space Force in the world, too. I don't even know if anybody else has one, but we'll still be the best. So let's talk about money. Do we need a supplemental? Given the level of intensity of engagement in the last year or two, providing weapons to Israel, dropping bombs ourselves, would a supplemental help, Mr. Secretary?
So I believe at this point, with the total requests between the reconciliation and the base, we'll meet our demands. But if I see different, I'll be the first one to advocate for additional resources.
Okay. What about you, General? What do you think?
Well, Senators, you know, I'm in the different position of saying
Yeah.
if there's money to be
No,
had,
I
I'll
mean,
take
but
it all we
you're-
can. But I'm fully.
No, I know you work for the Secretary, and that's what it should be. I mean, in terms of the inventory out there, how do we stand?
We have been expending resources both on our own defense of our own platforms and to support our allies and partners. And so we do constantly, it is a challenge. It's a challenge we take on readily.
What I want to do is just not, entice China or anybody else to say now's the time to jump. So let's look at that. I think definitely we need to do one for Israel, Mr. Chairman, a supplemental. And I'd like to, Ms. Secretary, if we ever get to that point, you can give us some input about what you need. You'd be glad to do that, I'm sure.
Yes, Senator, I will.
Well, let's say for some reason we didn't pass the reconciliation bill, that would be a real blow to your plans, right?
That would be a massive blow to our
Bit.
plans.
So to anybody watching out there, this $150 billion in the reconciliation bill doesn't get talked about a lot, but it's the difference between making it or not making it in the short term here. You need the money and you need it yesterday. A little bit about the strike itself. General Kane did a marvelous job talking about the air crews and the Patriot missile battery crews and making it real to us what your people do every day. And it was a well-told story and a wonderful story to celebrate. And I'm willing to say without any hesitation that the Midnight Hammer operation severely damaged, completely decimated in many ways these three sites. That's not even an issue for me. I think they were completely decimated in terms of being used anytime soon, and that means years. I think we set them back years in terms of using those sites. But I want to make the point, has the regime changed its goals at all? Ms. Secretary, have you seen any intel to suggest that the Ayatollah's regime has abandoned their desire to destroy Israel after this strike?
Senator, I couldn't speak to that, particularly in this
What about
environment.
you, General? Anybody?
I have not seen any intel.
Anything in space out there to suggest otherwise?
If there is, I haven't seen that intel.
Yeah. Okay, well, I hope we don't ever meet the Iranians in space. That'd be a bad day. So the point I'm trying to make is we should celebrate this military operation. I think it was hugely important. But my goal is to change the future, and the future is only going to change when the regime changes. And I'm not talking about invading Iran, but change their behavior or the people, and that's up to the Iranian people. But right now, it's the policy of the Ayatollah and his regime to destroy the state of Israel and to come after us, and I'm hoping that will change. But if that doesn't change, we're going to be right back at it. General Alvin, can you tell me from an air power point of view, what are the limitations of air power in terms of controlling the desires of the regime? Do we know if there are other sites out there? It seems to me that they may be. I don't know. I'm not convinced they didn't plan for this and move some stuff around, but we don't know. I just know this really worked. But can you sort of give us some indication of the limits of air power?
Well, I'd say one of the limits of air power is we can't hit what we don't know is there. So the ability, it's part of an entire apparatus of understanding. And then once we know what's there, our job as United States Air Force is to offer options to the president to be able to, as we say, put a warhead on a forehead anywhere on the globe, regardless of the threat density environment. And so understanding what that is, I think that if we don't know that, that would limit the potential effectiveness. So it is sort of a team effort. But once we understand that where it is, then we need to ensure that we have the ability to overcome whatever defense is and have the effect to give the president confidence that this option versus that option
One
is
last question. These bunker buster things seems to be a good bomb to have. Do we have enough of them?
Hey, Senator, we were talking about that earlier, that what I am focused on is, one, given the nature of the targets that we know, we look at the inventory, but you've got to believe that after that, some people are thinking about how to make them more defensible.
even more hardened,
So we're also looking about what's the next iteration. We need to stay ahead of them nonstop.
Thank you.